Welcome to the 1996 Pan American Rugby Series. We're coming to you from Fletcher's Field in Toronto in Canada, along with Tommy Smith. I'm Mike Hill. Tommy, this is the game that's going to decide as we check the Argentine line out, and of course they're the defending champions.
Yes indeed, and Meson, the fullback, he will have a lot of responsibility today. Very experienced, 32 caps, 28 years of age, and he has the right pedigree to be a star today, Mike, and certainly Argentina are going to need him.
Yes, they've got a lot of speed on the wings. Bartolucci, of course, we've seen his pace, just his second appearance. And then Camardon in the centres, Tommy.
Yeah, and Quesada, of course, a man who's also been very instrumental in Argentina's great run in this competition. Having won it last year, they're looking to come back and win it this year. And what about the number 8, Mike? He's been great, Camerlinckx.
Yes, he really has done well in that pack. It's a very strong pack. That's their second row there, and as you can see, some 47 caps between them.
Hasan and certainly Grau look like two very tough characters at the props, and the hooker, well, Ledesma has done very well getting rid of the ball.
Yes, Mario Ledesma is the hooker, and the coach there, Jose Luis Imhoff, and you can see there he's got a very impressive record. So that's the side from Argentina, who will be looking to retain the trophy and trying to take it away from them. Canada, they've got a very experienced fullback.
Well, certainly have. He's their most experienced player, 32 caps, Scott Stewart. Still only 27 years of age. And what about Courtney Smith, the man with all the speed, Mike? He can break any game open.
Yes, certainly plenty of speed on the wings for Canada. A couple of solid centres there. Steve Gray, very experienced. And Bob Ross, of course, he's their kicking machine.
The man with the golden boot so far, he really knows how to split those uprights. And the number 8, Mike Smith, has done very well. Very, very strong for a 26-year-old.
Yes, and the back row for Canada, again, a lot of experience, but not too much in the second row.
Now, they're having McCarthy and Healy. They've only 10 caps between them, but they've showed a lot of promise, Mike.
And plenty of weight and force up front from the two props. And, of course, they will support the hooker, Scott Hendry, who is just his third appearance. But what a great series he's had. Pat Paffrey, of course, the former Irish international, Tommy.
Yes, indeed, a man who's made his own of this Canadian team, and they played very well for him.
So the crowd waits in anticipation. It's all down to this game to see who will be crowned the champions of this Pan Am Rugby Series. Argentina and Canada. That's the decision that will be made in the next couple of hours. Both sides with plenty of support. There's a good atmosphere here in Toronto. And when we return, we'll be back with the kickoff. It's the final, Argentina against Canada. Welcome back then to Fletcher's Field here in Toronto, Canada. It's the final match of the Pan Am Rugby Series here in Canada. And Argentina and Canada will decide who will be crowned the champions. Argentina, of course, coming into this game, they are the defending champions, having won the inaugural Pan Am Rugby Series. So the crowd waits in anticipation. Good atmosphere. It's been a very interesting series. But these were the two teams, Tommy, that everybody expected to fight out the deciding match.
Well, everybody figured that the game between the US and Uruguay would be for the third spot, and of course the experts were right once again. Argentina have promised so much over the years, Mike. They've had some great victories. I mean, they've had great victories over Australia. They've had victories over France, some of the best rugby nations in the world. But when it comes to big games, they're very inconsistent, and that could be their problem today.
Well, this will be the fifth meeting between Canada and Argentina, and it stands at 2 wins apiece. So not too much between these two sides, as we see Argentina take the field, led out there by their captain, the number 12, Arbizu.
Well, the number 5 there, Jose Sims, looks like a giant of a man, Mike.
And here come the Canadians. Of course, the majority of the support, as one would expect, being in Toronto, is for the Canadians. And they are led out by Al Sharon, their 30-year-old captain, plays for Ottawa Irish. And when he's not playing rugby, he's a civil servant. So the Argentine huddle, just going over last-minute instructions, last-minute tactics, as we take a final check on the Argentine lineup, and that is their forward pack. Very solid and a lot of experience and some pace in the backs as well, Tommy.
Yeah, there is indeed, and Meson really very capable of kicking from the back and letting themselves run onto it underneath. that could be one of the players that we'll use against Canada today.
There's Canada in their huddle now. Some last-minute instructions as we check their forward pack. No late changes there. And the number 4, Tony Healy, plays for James Bay. He's important for them. But, of course, they'll look to that number 10, Bob Ross.
Well, I'm just looking at Bob Ross down there. He thinks he's a soccer player. He's going around heading the ball and kicking it just to get the feel on it, Mike. He certainly knows where those uprights are.
Our referee is Mr. Limor from the USA. And as we just check the reserves, each side, of course, can name 6 players who can be used as substitutes. And it's going to be Argentina who kick off. Penaluna there on the reserve bench for Canada, the number 17. That's a bit of a surprise because he has looked very good in their lead-up matches. He scored a try against Uruguay and perhaps can count himself rather unfortunate that he's not in the starting 15. So Jerry Limor checks with both touch judges.
Well, an ideal day for rugby. Good crowd on hand. The sun is shining. Brilliant, bright day here, Mike.
And Argentina get us underway. High kick, knocked back there by Canada. They quickly form a ruck, and they've won the ball. They're going to try to run it early. They run into trouble. Big number 8 that time, Mike Schmid, brought to ground. And the clearing kick from Bob Ross. And Canada goes deep into Argentina's half.
Oh, the man who's approaching 150 points for Canada shows that he's in good kicking form already. Nice kick into touch there. Under a little bit of pressure, but he made a lot of yardage.
And you can see that statistics there. The average height of these packs is identical. And a good jump there by the big number 5, Jose Simez. Argentina have won it from the line out. And just trying to force their way forward, a rolling maul that time. Ball was dropped though, and referee is saying that won't come out. He'll have a scrum.
Oh, you see Ledesma coming in from the back there. One of the tougher men. He's on that front row of the scrum, Mike. A lot of power here when they put their heads down.
And not too much difference in the weight of these two packs. Argentina, though, do have a slight advantage. This is Rob Card. High up and under. And the call for a fair catch. And well taken there, in fact, by Gonzalo Camardon. And he will find touch on the far side. Throw for Canada. Gonzalo Camardon, who scored a try against Uruguay in a very good victory for Canada, 54-20. Or for Argentina, one should say. And this time, excellent jump by Brian McCarthy. Quick release from Canada. Going through that time was Scott Bryan. Canada trying to play it wide quickly. The cut inside. Fast hands that time from Ross. The chip ahead from Lytton. Good flowing rugby from Canada and some fast hand movement down that back line, Tommy.
Yeah, and Meson did very well, the fullback for Argentina, to get it. But Bob Ross links up very well. You can see him here. He gets 2 touches on it. He's nailed the last time. And then the little kick ahead, nice by Lytton, but it's well fielded by the fullback, and he's driven into touch. Good attacking rugby by Canada.
I think he called for a fair catch, but there was Bob Ross involved in that move twice. Here come Canada again. They want to move the ball wide. They believe that if there is a weakness with this Argentine side, it is out wide. Certainly in the pack, Argentina do have the advantage. But now an opportunity for Canada. And Bob Ross is going to have his first shot at goal. He's been kicking superbly throughout this Pan Am series. And this certainly is within range for him, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, and it's on the right angle and all for the right-footed kicker. He's coming right into it. He's facing right into the post. This one could be a great opportunity for him getting the scoreboard. He's been playing with Canada since 1989. Made his debut against Ireland. 27 points already in this tournament, Mike, and an opportunity here to make it to 30.
Yes, got 14 points in the game against Uruguay and 13 in the game against the United States. Plays for James Bay in British Columbia.
I love his occupation. He's classified as a player. So even when he's off the field, he's still a player, Mike.
Used to be called gentlemen and players at one stage. Remember that, Tommy?
That's right. I think the gentleman got dropped somewhere along the way.
Oh, he's hit this one well wide. He won't be happy with that. The distance was good, the height was good, but the direction that time was all astray.
Oh, yeah, he just scuffs the kick for some reason. I'm not sure. Grass looks a little bit long here, which might be a problem for the kickers, although we generally see them bring out that little pile of clay to put underneath it. But the grass here sometimes can drive you astray, Mike, if you're a kicker.
A high drop out from the 25. And again, Canada have won that. Bit of an untidy maul on that far side. Now the forwards get round, and it's come back Canada's way. Cut inside that time. Ball loose, picked up. Well, Canada had the idea of trying to move this big Argentine pack around. They succeeded in doing that in the early stages. Argentina again have given up a penalty.
Well, David Penney with a nice run, and of course Penney should have a lot of experience playing with Oxford University in England. In fact, he's played in that famous match, Mike, Oxford versus Cambridge, so he knows a lot about tension.
Yes, a bit different surroundings where that's played over in at Twickenham, of course.
Well, you'd be minus the Twickenham roar here today, wouldn't you? That famous roar that goes up whenever England score a try.
It's Twickenham, home of English rugby. Has an atmosphere all of its own. And here's Bob Ross. He's missed once.
Oh, he's trying to get this one right. He should be curling this one into the post just a little bit. He may not try to hit it as hard as he would normally.
Well, this one's wide as well. It's flagged away. So he's missed 2 from 2. And that is very unlike Bob Ross, Tommy.
Well, he certainly was kicking for touch very well, but his kicking has been terrible. I mean, that's 2 good opportunities. He should have at least had 6 points on the board by now. Another dropout for Argentina. Gonzalo Quesada himself has scored 23 points so far in the 2 previous matches. Now here come Argentina. They've gone without the ball, and both teams, they're going in over the ball. A terrible mistake that time by Argentina. Yeah, Martin's coming through there, the number 6 player. He dropped the ball down, and you can see the Maple Leafs have a lot of support here, Mike. Well, one would expect that, of course, being played in Toronto. No, that was enough ceremoniously dumped, wasn't it? And here come Canada again, spinning it wide. Coming into the back line this time is the fullback, Scott Stewart. Canada try to switch play this time back amongst the forward. That's Scott Hendry. Again, playing it back into the pack. Good run that time by Hutchinson. Well, Hutchinson has been a tower of strength picking up the ball in all of these games, Mike. Great man, especially too with the push when they're trying to push it forward. This time he just makes the run. Penalty to Argentina. You just wonder though, Tommy, why Canada decided to bring it back in to the Argentine pack, because they seem to have an overlap if they could have spun it wide. Yeah, and they seem to be doing very well when they do spin it wide. I think the United States proved that if you stretch this Argentinian side out, Mike, you can score tries against them. Brave display by the US, just gone down by a couple of points. Yes, it was a good display by the Americans, who of course finished 3rd in this tournament. They beat Uruguay in their final match. Now Argentina winning the line out.
Now they're trying to spin it wide, but they're cutting back in field. And that time it was Solari running into trouble. Now the kick forward into the 25. Stewart thought about kicking. He's twisted round and then forced out of play. Was the big number 10 there? Or in fact the big number 6, Al Sharon, the captain of Canada.
Well, you might have got the numbers wrong, but the big was the same because they're all big, aren't they? I mean, it's incredible how big some of these guys are. Bartolucci was the man who kicked on the ground, Mike, and he scored a great try in the first game.
What a great take there from that throw in. Now Argentina looking to play it wide. Again, they cut back in field to the strength, really, of the Canadians. Now perhaps they can spin it wide. They might even have an overlap if they've got quick hands, and they have. And this is Solari. He's in and brings it round to make the conversion that much easier. And Solari, Martin Solari, opens up the scoring. It's his first try of the tournament. But quick hands, and from that point on, Tommy, Canada were really stretched and in a lot of trouble.
Well, they drove it into the middle first, Argentina did, and then they started to switch it out. And Perez is the man who releases. Barrea then switches it across, and Arbizu gets it across, and Solari, watch this, missed tackle by Courtney Smith, and Solari just runs around him. Courtney Smith had the chance there of pushing him into touch, Mike, on the corner, couldn't do it, and the Argentinians come up with a nice try.
Well, that's his first try for Argentina, and it's the first try of this final match of the 1996 Pan Am Rugby Series. So an opportunity now for Canada to add to those 5 points. Not too difficult a conversion. Solari did well to bring it round to make the angle that much easier. Kick from just outside the 25. Taking plenty of time. And he seems to have screwed it wide. It's Canada 0, Argentina 5. We'll be back after this. Welcome back then to the final of the 1996 Pan Am Rugby Series. And just about 20 minutes gone now this first half. Canada have got on the board thanks to a penalty from Bob Ross. It's now Canada 3, Argentina 5. And I suppose the main talking point, Tommy, is Bob Ross. I mean, 1 from 4, that's unbelievable for a kicker of his ability.
Yeah, and all of them are in pretty easy range, Mike. And even now his kicking game has gone off a little bit. He's not finding touch as well as he should.
Well, the Canadian forwards at the moment are firing well. This is Dave Penney. Canada again winning the maul. Now Bob Ross kicking. And just not quite getting the angle right. And the ball going out of play over that end line. So, in fact, it will be a 25-yard dropout.
Oh, when kickers have bad days, Mike, they have really bad days. And we thought that Bob Ross was going to have a good one because his first kick for touch was a brilliant kick. He kicked it about 40 yards and found a good touch, but everything has gone downhill since.
Yes, and we see there the number 10, Gonzalo Quesada. He's still 0 for 2 because he's missed a couple of chances. Of course, the conversion for the try, also a penalty. I'm just wondering, Tommy, there might be a little bit of wind down there, and also that long grass might be upsetting because both kickers have been so good throughout this series, but just both just that little bit off today.
Well, you know, if you get used to kicking in a certain type of grass, you can have extreme problems here, and obviously not making excuses for the kickers. There's something wrong with them because, as you said, Mike, both of them have been kicking really well all throughout the tournament. And I mean, Matt Alexander as well with the United States has had an incredible time, but today they're just completely off.
Referee wants the scrum to repack.
Hear him tell them, don't delay, bring your arm up.
Well, it's going to be an Argentina put in, and with the feed and with the head. And now that powerful pack just trying to push the Canadians back. And Barrea playing it back there to the standoff half, and that's Quesada. Certainly no worries with his kicking when he's trying to find touch.
You could hear the crowd there oohing and ahhing. They thought the Canadian had the opportunity to block it down, Mike.
Well, it's going to be a Canadian put in. Look for their second row of Brian McCarthy and Tony Healy.
They've tried a very short put in at some times. This time to go the long way.
Yes, and it didn't seem to work for them. It was tapped back at the end of the line by Argentina.
Perez, number 7 for Argentina, is getting so many touches on the ball out there. I mean, I know Hutchinson is a good player. Hutchinson, number 7 for Canada, but Perez has really shown himself up today.
And another scrum. Argentina certainly have an advantage here. You can see that push from the pack, just pushing the Canadians back. And now break on that far side. Barrea, and played forward there for Solari. And Solari was fouled, so it's going to be a penalty where the ball dropped for Argentina. Great opportunity this.
Oh, amazingly, Argentina went on the short side, Mike. I think the Canadians were expecting, like myself, for them to come back across the wide side of the field because they only had about 3 yards towards the line. Look at Solari now. He takes the pass there from Barrea. He kicks it on, and Courtney Smith is the man who nails him. Courtney's not having the happiest of afternoons today, Mike.
And, of course, sensational player with 2 tries against the USA. Such a fast player. But I think he might have met his match there in Solari. Interesting that Martin Solari, who often plays in the centres, has been moved out to the wing. That's a tactical move, Tommy.
Yeah, it certainly is. They feel probably that they can take Courtney Smith to the cleaners, and twice now he's done it. The first time Solari got around him, and this time for Courtney Smith to stop him, he had to foul him, which gives the penalty shot for Argentina.
Gonzalo Quesada, 0 for 2 so far. But that one's straight through the upright. And that is 1 from 3 now. And Argentina increased the lead. Argentina 8. Canada 3.
Oh, it's a lovely kick by Quesada. He gets it high enough, gets a lot of drive into it.
Canada kicking off. The only other times that these two teams have actually met on Canadian soil was in 1990 in Vancouver, which Canada won 15-6.
Oh, there's the kick from the Hindu club man, and he splits the uprights. Boy, he got a lot of height on that one, driven it way up into the clear blue sky here. Good camera angle there, showing exactly how much he lifted it. Bob Ross is going to look like he's going to have an opportunity to do the same, Mike.
Well, he's only converted 1 so far, but this penalty certainly within his range. You just wonder how many of those losses might have just affected him. So you can see there 1 from 4, Tommy. His confidence must be rather low at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. A man who came into this tournament having already kicked 25 penalty goals and 15 conversions, and he's had a couple of drop goals as well. So I mean, he is a very capable kicker, but you know, like we talk about, kickers are streak, Mike. They go on a streak. It's a good streak or a bad streak. Right now Bob Ross is having a bad one.
Well, this certainly isn't the easiest of his kicks. But if he can get this, it could just be the confidence booster that he wanted. Certainly Canada can do with the points. It will bring them within 2 if this goes over. And he's hit that one sweetly. The flags are up. And Bob Ross gets his second conversion of the match. And Canada now 6, Argentina 8. Something for the home supporters to cheer about, Tommy.
Well, they certainly have something, and of course, rugby being such a sporting event, you can see the Argentinians also cheering for that nice kick from Bob Ross. Maybe that's what Bob needs now just to get his game going, Mike. He's been having a miserable afternoon.
So they drop out from Quesada. All knocked forward there by Argentina. And Argentina going over the ball. Referee saw that, so it'll be a penalty for Canada.
On the ground, he's been involved in so much of it, the big number 6 as you like to describe him, Mike, and that he is, but he's getting the work done here today from the Ottawa Irish. Maybe that's why he's so good.
Oh, Canada there taking the tap and trying to run the ball. It's played out wide. This is Steve Gray running into trouble. Whipped back there by Card. And all of a sudden the progress is stopped now. Canada can spread it wide. Ross there with that little pass. Back amongst the forwards now. Wirachowski there was leading the charge, and now the chip over the top and the chase through. And the ball touched down. And that'll be a dropout from the 25.
Bartolucci is the man who decided to cover it up, Mike. He didn't want to take any chances. Number 14 diving on it back there.
And he also had to wait, Tommy, until that ball actually had gone into the dead ball area. But in fact, the referee has found an infringement. There's got to have been a challenge off the ball. You can see there Bartolucci waiting for that to go over the try line before he fell on it.
How did he get nailed after he did pull the ball down?
But the penalty's gone to Canada, so there must have been something happening while we were watching that move go forward. The referee from the USA, Jerry McLemore, decides it's a penalty. And now another opportunity for Bob Ross, not too far from the position, Tommy, where he just converted.
Yeah, if he just could get himself a carbon copy of the last one, he'd be okay. He'd notch another 3 points here, but of course it's not always that easy, Mike.
But of course 3 points here, and it means that Canada would go into the lead for the first time in this match. Bob Ross, 2 from 5 so far.
Leading scorer in the Pacific Rim tournament, 105 points in 6 matches.
He's got the distance now, and he's got the accuracy. And Canada go into the lead. Canada 9, Argentina 8. And Bob Ross now 3 from 6. And that's more of what we've come to expect from him, Tommy.
Oh, it certainly is. He hit it so sweetly, got enough of a lift on it so as that it just drifted over. It looked when it took off from his foot that it was going to go wide of the post, but it just curled inside of the post, and the Canadian crowd loves it, Mike.
Now Argentina trying to play it along their 3 quarters. This is Quesada. He's stopped. Sporleder. Now they try to spin it wide. This is the captain, Arbizu. Canadian forwards getting there quickly. Now it's released. Some of the forwards out there. This is the big lock forward, Camerlinckx. Ball picked up there by Perez. Canada doing well. They continue to make forward progress, but it's Canada who have come up with the ball. And the referee will now decide that he's going to have a scrum.
Well, Perez has been playing so well for Argentina today, and as you said, Camerlinckx went across, left the ball behind him, and as soon as he dropped it down, Perez was in on top, but then the infraction, the Canadians coming away with the ball.
So they're put in by Canada, and the offside. Breaking from the pack there was the flanker. And that's John Hutchinson. Seems to have lost his number.
Well, that'll tell you how tough it is out there. They're even pulling the numbers off the shorts, Mike.
And now penalty for Argentina. Gonzalo Quesada.
Only has a chance to come good again now after Ross has kicked 2 fine penalty goals.
Well, only 1 from 3 so far. This one just outside the 25-yard line.
He has a very short approach to it, hasn't he? Just a 2-step approach to it almost.
Good angle. This to put Argentina back in the lead. Quesada makes it 2 from 4. And Argentina go back in the lead. Argentina 11, Canada 9. And Argentina with plenty of support here.
Well, I suppose if we have a Texas 2-step, why not an Argentinian 2-step? And that's exactly what Quesada did. Drove it over nicely. The kickers are on the game now, but the Canadians are coming on the attack.
Here come Canada. Trying to keep it amongst the forwards. That was Dave Penney. Now they try to play it wide. Nice crisscross move that time. Canadian forwards getting there rather slowly, but they've got possession of the ball. They're keeping it close. Dropped that time by Penney. Another good challenge. And Healy going in there trying to use his hands. And that's going to be a penalty which will relieve the pressure now for Argentina.
Oh, what a beautiful move between Bob Ross. I mean, crisscrossed. He handled the ball 3 times going in 3 different directions.
And some of those big Argentine forwards just feeling the pace at the moment. It's been pretty relentless. This was Canada's tactics, of course, though, Tommy. They wanted to move this bigger Argentine pack around so they could tire them out. It seems to be working.
Well, they certainly used the full width of the field, and they've spread it wide every opportunity they've gotten.
That was Quesada turning it back into the forwards. Canada getting there slowly. Argentina have possession. Now the kick. And that's going to send Scott Stewart back to his own 25. Time with the clearance. Fouls to find touch, and that's a bad mistake. It gives Argentina now the opportunity to open it up that far side of the field. Coming through that time is Camardon. Went without the ball, and the referee sees no advantage for the knock-on, and he'll put down a scrum.
Well, a mistake there by Scott Stewart, Mike, not finding touch. I mean, he had ample room, he had plenty of time, no pressure at all, and he just gave the ball right back to the Argentinians.
Rob Carr to put in. And the pack at that time is just being pushed back. Canada have got it. It's a knock-on there by Scott Stewart. 2 Canadian players going for the same ball.
Oh, Rob Carr has been doing a good job of getting the ball out cleanly, and you're going to see what happens here on the previous play. This is where Argentina are coming through, and Camardon is the man who dropped the ball down.
It was knocked forward also there by Canada, but the referee playing the first knock-on. Just over the 35-minute mark in this first half. Argentina again with a put-in. There's that big push. It's being held in the back row. And Canada ping for collapsing the scrum. The penalty's been taken quick. What a bursting run that time. Camerlinckx, as he now tries to link up with the 3-quarter line. And here goes Solari again. Nobody's going to catch him. And Martin Solari gets his second try of the match. Argentina go further ahead. But that all goes down, Tommy, to the big lock forward, Camerlinckx, who just burst out of that maul. And in the end, it finished up with that man. That's his second try.
Oh, what a brilliant run. But the Canadians were caught asleep. Here is where it develops here. He has just run through it now. He passes the ball over to Arbizu. He gets it inside. And look at Sorrelly's on the wide outside all the time. The fullback comes over for Canada. But all he comes up with his air. And look at that. Sorrelly said, thank you. I just put it down there. And he gave somebody a little shot in the back as well. Gray. Just a reminder that he scored this try.
So Argentina now 16 points to 9 ahead. Quesada to try this conversion. Just about 12 yards in from touch, just outside the 25. 2 from 4 so far today. But he's converted his last 2.
This one's important. I know any rugby kicker will tell you they're all important, but this one's especially important.
Taking his time. No wind. Beautifully struck. Argentina increase the lead. And they now lead by 18 points to 9. 2 tries for Argentina. One of them's been converted. They've got a couple of penalties. And Canada only reply 3 penalties as they try to get the restart taken quickly.
Well, realistically, looking at it now, what it means is that the Canadians got to score 2 tries if they don't convert them. But they've got to score 2 tries and get at least 1 conversion, Mike.
Well, Scott Stewart there just spilling that one. Made a valiant attempt. But this is where it all started, Tommy. That break And from that point on, Canada were in all sorts of trouble.
Oh, yeah, he just ran right over them. There was no question about it. And once Solari gets wide, that's the end of the story. That's all she wrote, because he has so much speed out there. Tremendous, tremendous movement by the coach to put him out there today, Mike. He's been so effective.
Yes, and as Camerlinckx broke through, of course, Courtney Smith had to move inside. That left Solari unmarked. Here he is again. This time he's stopped on that far side. It's all very untidy, and the referee there penalising Argentina for going over the ball in the maul. A penalty will relieve the pressure for Canada.
Oh, poor Courtney Smith's having a rough time of it today. They're really victimising him, Mike. I mean, every time you see something good happening for Argentina, you got to figure that Courtney's at the end of it. Once again, he was involved here in this tackle, and he's just not... he's been a star all along, but today... the man from the Merloma club is having a few problems.
Well, on that try, of course, he should have been marking Solari, but he got pulled in because of that break by Camerlinckx. He came in to try to close down the centre, and of course the ball was spun wide, and Solari was in for his second try. Camardon is the player who is down. Play continues, though. He's not interfering, or not in an area where he will interfere with play. It's Rob Card. High up and under. Misfielded, but not a knock on. It was knocked back by Meson.
Oh, a disastrous kick.
Well, he fails to get it out of the 25. Santiago Meson plays for the San Siro club.
Oh, he put himself out under all kinds of pressure, Mike. He did the right thing getting his back to the goal so as he wouldn't knock the ball on, but it was a terrible kick.
Well, Camardon is back on his feet, as another player from Argentina is also just requiring some attention as well.
Sporleder is the man who's just gotten up, the big number 4.
In fact, the half-time whistle has gone as both the teams settle down for their half-time team talk. At half-time, it is Canada 9, Argentina 18, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back then to Fletcher's Field here in Toronto, Canada, at half-time in the final match of the 1996 Pan Am Rugby Series. It is Canada 9, Argentina 18. Let's have a look back at the first half, because Canada really caught napping there with Solari, who just went round Courtney Smith, and that was the first try, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, Solari has used so much pace on the wide outside. Watch this one coming right down the middle here. He's just going to walk right through. What am I doing? Stopping? No way am I stopping. And Solari is going to come on the wide side again, Mike, and he's going to waltz over with this one. Tremendous try. They're two great tries for this man.
Yes, Martin Solari scoring both the tries as we look at the first half statistics, and Argentina really dominating, not only in the scrums, Tommy, but surprisingly in the line-outs as well.
Yeah, that really surprises me, but their timing has been very well today, and the big man they've taken in there, Jose Seams, he has done a tremendous job of getting them. We didn't see him in the first 2 games, but he's really been very important here, and you can see the Canadians here, well, they're having a few problems.
Well, they certainly have had problems in the first half. They have not scored a try. And one must say, in all honesty, Tommy, they haven't looked like scoring a try either, really.
No, they haven't. A couple of times it looked like they got it wide, but you can see that Perez is having his footwear worked on, getting the cogs screwed in. But the Canadians haven't gotten it wide enough, and they don't seem to have enough of pace on the wings. That man there, Courtney Smith, standing right behind Bob Ross, he just hasn't been able to get into the game today. And I think if Canada are going to score a try, Mike, he's the man that has to do it for them.
Yes, I mean, he's their speed merchant on the wing, but his defensive play today, Tommy, I mean, both the Argentine tries came down his flank. I mean, he's the player who's supposed to be stopping Martin Solari, but in both occasions he's really nowhere to be seen.
Well, Solari just left them for dead on the first one, and on the second one, to give Courtney Smith a little bit of due, well, somebody blindsided him, took him out of it, and he was no factor in the play at all. It was the full-back who was trying to catch up to him, Scott Stewart.
Well, Argentina then 2 tries in the first half, plus a couple of penalties and a conversion, and for Canada just 3 penalties from Bob Ross. As we await now the start of the second half, there is Bob Ross And certainly Canada are going to need his inspirational play as well as his kicking if they are to get back into this game. 27 points he'd scored in the first 2 matches. And a few more here will not go astray. Of course, he's scored all of Canada's points so far today. That's 9. So it will be Bob Ross who gets the second half underway. Canada now attacking the end to the right. Canada, the red shirts, the white shorts. Argentina, the Pumas, those sky blue and white hoops. Failing to find touch. Now here's Scott Stewart. Had a disappointing first half, but that was a good run. The ball just thrown out rather widely. Arbizu takes that one. Argentina again going over the ball. And the referee will give a free kick to Canada, which they take quickly. They tried to run the Argentine pack in the first half. It really wasn't too successful. But of course it's warm here in Toronto. As this is Courtney Smith. What can he do? He went the wrong way, Tommy, didn't he? He ran straight towards the pack. He's running into trouble.
I'm very surprised. He had the whole side open on the right-hand side, and the full back going up. Scott Stewart was the man who set him free. They're still in business, but...
Yes, here is Scott Stewart. Just short of the line. Good defensive work, and there's some hands in the maul that time. That's going to be a penalty to Canada. Now, what are they going to do here? Are they going to try the drive over? All the forward pack are there. Now they're going to spin it. This is Hutchinson. It's still amongst the forwards. Argentina defending desperately. And some rather untidy hook in there and some stamping.
Oh, you see, the referee said he put his hand on the ball, but, I mean, he put his boot on about 3 different guys' heads, and the referee said nothing about it. Big number 2 going in there, Scott Hendry. And I think that's what happened to one of the Argentinians lying down there. Hendry got the boot on.
Yes, the referee has gone over, in fact, to talk to the touch judge, who I think had a better view. But this was a great opportunity for Canada. Scott Stewart, the fullback, in the line, and just a foot or so short, Tommy.
Yeah, he just was, and you can see the ball picked up nicely, and then the hand on the ball when the player is on the ground. I think the referee is having a word. I think the touch judge spotted what happened, Mike.
Yes, and a penalty for Argentina, which will relieve the pressure.
Oh, I think it's a good call, because Scott Hendry really tried to stand on somebody's head in there.
Well, this time they ensure they find touch. Gonzalo Quesada. He's 22 years old. Was in that famous 5/8 position for so long, dominated by Hugo Porto, that great Argentine 5/8, and also a kicking machine as well. Now here come Argentina as they play it down the back line. Now they play it forward. Stewart there has the turn and chase. Takes it back to his own 25. The clearing kick. Finds touch right on the halfway line. Argentina getting it in quickly. Again, amongst the forwards. This is where their strength is. This is Hasan. He's stopped. Ball loose. Barrea. Argentina just keeping the ball aligned. And if they could have played it wide that time, they had an overlap. Now they come the other way, and a little chip over the top, looking to find touch. And Courtney Smith not having a happy game, Tommy. That came off his boot at right angles.
Oh, that's just again of a day. That sums it all up for Courtney Smith. You could see how disappointed he is there. I mean, he made probably a yard on the kick, Mike. That was terrible, terrible mistake.
I think you might be a bit generous for him there, Tommy, as well. Argentina dominating the line-outs. They have the put in. Ledesma, the hooker, will throw the ball in. The referee ensuring there was a good channel for it to be thrown, and a good jump that time by Jose Simez, and a good push from Argentina. Now the ball comes out. Barrea bursting through that time. Solari coming in from the wing. And did he get it down? No, says the referee. And we're going to have a 5-yard scrum.
Oh, I thought he was going to burst right down the middle, Mike. You're going to see the opportunity here. He shakes off a tackler and another one. Look at this. He came very, very close, trying to get himself in there. I think he held himself up at the elbow.
Yes, he didn't get the ball down. That was good refereeing. But now scrum, 5 yards out. It's Argentina's put in.
Got to figure there's going to be a big push here.
Yes, I think they just might try to push the Canadians over. Although their back line...
Going to hold it up, hold it up. They're not going to bring it out clean at all. They're going to try to push it over.
And now do they go over? No, the referee has penalised Argentina. Well, that does seem not a very popular decision.
Well, the Argentinians have done everything right, Mike. They held the ball up in the scrum and they got that big push going. And then once they got the scrum moving, let's see if we can spot what the referee sees. Looks like here there's a try, but the referee said no. He's in a good position to call it.
Well, he said that the scrum didn't keep straight, but I mean, Argentina were doing the push-in and Canada couldn't hold them. But that penalty has relieved the pressure as Bob Ross finds touch. Just around the halfway line. So the put-in now for Canada.
Oh, the referee has done a pretty good job. We can't really fault any of his calls. Difficult job to referee in rugby. There's so many things happening, Mike. I guess you could make a call on every play, couldn't you?
Well, you could do, really. Here come Canada. And a good breakthrough there. That's the sender, Steve Gray. Needs somebody to link up with him. Now they play it wide. The forwards get there for Canada. Hutchinson. Now Stewart, the fullback. Forwards there in his way. Let's stop the momentum of the move. And the referee has penalised Argentina.
Well, I don't think they're going to be kicking any goals, are they? He's going to kick. No, he's not going to kick.
No, they're going to try to run it in from here. Now, Scott Hendry. Well, the referee has penalised Argentina for not getting back to 10 yards. They didn't get back that time either. Now, here come Canada. Ross. He's upended. Here's Bryan. Just throws it in the air, and it's over for Canada. Wirachowski, I think, the front row forward. Well, he came bursting through, Tommy, and when he is moving at you, nobody's going to stop him. 109 kilos.
A juggernaut loose, that's what he is. He just comes raging through there and he puts his head down and he pushes everything out of the way. Nice play back once again. Penney is involved and he gets it back. Lytton, Bryan goes in with it. He's the man who's going to drop it back, and here's where he comes in. Look at that. He just dives on in, Mike. No stopping him.
He scored a try against Uruguay, and now he's scored one here against Argentina. It brings the deficit down to 4 points with this conversion to come. This could bring it down to 2. Bob Ross, 3 from 6, and now that's 4 from 7. It's Canada 16, Argentina 18. More international rugby when we return. Welcome back then. Canada have the line out on that far side. And that try from Wirachowski has just given Canada now the inspiration that they needed. Getting good support from the home crowd. And now really taking the game to Argentina.
Well, that's the one thing about the Argentinians today. They haven't looked spectacular, Mike. They haven't really made any mistakes. And anytime they have made a mistake, the Canadians haven't been fit to punish them. Those missed penalties are really coming back to haunt them now.
Yes, Argentina still 2 ahead. Other hands in the maul, and Argentina caught offside.
But it was good strategy movement by the Canadians not to try to kick for the penalty goal. Going to do it again. They're going to try for the try.
And they're over. Well, it was the big number 2, Scott Hendry, and another player, Tommy, that when he's running at you, nobody really is going to get in his way, and he really had a head of speed that time.
Well, he's played with the under-19s, he's played with the under-21s, and he takes the ball from Dave Penney, the number 3 player, and he just slices his way in. You can see there, nice little touch on. There's Penney, just feeds it back to him. The short kick taken by Bob Ross. He just took the tap, and he just dives over for a good try. This is good rugby by the Canadians. They're on a roll right now.
So Scott Hendry. And an opportunity now for Bob Ross. 4 from 7 so far.
Scott Hendry getting a nice round of applause. The police officer when he's not playing rugby.
So this crowd is silenced. Such an important kick for Bob Ross. He's been really kicking well. And this is waved away. Well, it was very, very close, Tommy.
Oh, it was very, very close. Many in the crowd feel that that one should have went over. The post not as long here as you would normally find on a rugby game, but Bob Ross, being the gentleman that he is, he just said something under his breath to the referee. Oh, that one I thought it occurred inside of the post, Mike.
And straight out of play from the kickoff. Canada have the opportunity of a throw-in or a scrum, and they're going for the scrum right on the centre line. Argentina 21, Canada 21.
Oh, certainly this game is balanced right there now. If the Canadians can continue the inspirational play that they've come up with here, although the Argentinians are shoving them around a little bit, Mike, which is not a good sign.
Well, we knew that the Argentine pack was very powerful, but certainly they haven't got the mobility that the Canadian pack have got. That was Canada's match plan, to try to move them around as much as possible. And as we come up to the hour mark, it can't get much closer. 21-21. Ball played back inside. Good run that time by Perez. Now Solari. Another good bursting run from the centre. That's Camardon. And then in over the far side. A ball spread quickly wide. Jose Luis Imhoff, the coach, is on his feet. Bartolucci is the player who goes over. Scored a try against the USA.
Oh, it looked like there was a forward pass at one juncture in this. Watch for yourself. This one may be the one coming. That, to me, looks very suspiciously like a forward pass. But they get away with it, and Bartolucci is going to be all alone. He just walks in on the far side, just puts himself down in front of the fullback. Makes it look so simple. This game has changed around very, very quickly.
Yes, a try there to Octavio Bartolucci.
But once again, the Canadians were caught ball watching, Mike. One of the tries happened on the opposite end with about 4 of them still left for the scrum had broken down. And this time they were all trapped over on the left-hand side of the field. The Argentinians walked in on the right-hand side.
Now trying to convert this is Quesada. 4 from 6 so far. Awkward angle. It's a long way out. And of course, being a right-footed kicker, I would expect that the ball just might curl away from the post. And it's gone right across. The face is waved away. So 4 from 7. But Argentina in the lead here by 5.
Well, he certainly gets enough of lift on it, and the Argentinians are getting a lift here themselves, aren't they? Just as you said, Mike, that right-footed kicker, you're at a disadvantage when you're facing into the post like that.
He is decided on a scrum right on the halfway line. be an Argentina put in.
Barrea has done so well at getting the clean breaks on these coming out from the scrum.
Yes, his release, Tommy, from scrums has really been very, very quick. And now Argentina using their power in the pack.
Camerlinckx was in through it. Nice block down by the Canadians.
Yes, Quesada's kick there was blocked, but the referee is going to adjudge that was a knock-on. So, in fact, another scrum. There's Bartolucci, whose try now has put Argentina ahead of Canada in the final of this 1996 Pan Am Rugby Series. Argentina with a put in. Barrea again. And as Argentina have got some substitutes now warming up on the sideline. Referee saying that wasn't in straight. It'll be a free kick to Canada.
Travellini is down there, a man who has played so well in several of these games already, wearing number 19, Mike. Looks like he's getting ready to come in.
Yes, scored a try against the USA. As an intercept there, seemed to be a knock-on. The referee seeing if there is any advantage. And Canada have got the advantage. Play continues. They're trying to play it through the forwards. Now this is the little scrum half, Rob Card. Argentina defending well. Although it's noticeable now, Tommy, some of their forwards are a bit slow getting to these mauls. I think the pace is starting to tell on them. As that intercept and Solari there. I think he was away, Tommy, to the races, but the whistle went.
Oh, yeah, it looked like the Canadians had made a terrible blunder right down through the middle, but the referee's calling it back.
Well, it was a knock forward, in fact, but if he could have taken that cleanly, it would, in a case of put the glasses down.
Well, let's see what happens. You're going to see the ball break out nicely. Rob Card's involved. He's the man who spins it back. Look at this. Here's the mistake is going to happen right here. Just a mistake. He steps into it, takes it away. Camardon is the man who's gone to the races, but hey, come back. Doesn't count.
Yes, it was Camardon who had come round from the other wing to try to intercept there.
Bob Ross was the man who seemed to mishandle the ball, but the referee indicating there was a knock-on. I tell you, it was very slight now.
It was very slight, but at least the referee spotted it. And look at that push from the Argentine pack. And the scrum there just wheeling around.
You can hear the Canadians, come on, suck it up. Don't be letting them push you back like that. You got to get a little bit more steel into that scrum.
Canada with the put in. And again, unable to get it away cleanly from the scrum. Now the kick, and that's gone backwards. Ball loose. And Argentina first to the ball. But it's going to be Canada who are going to come out with the ball if they can just get this one back. Now they're lined up. Here's Ross. Good acceleration. Got past his opposite number. And nobody was following up. Argentina picking up the ball. And now the kick forward. And it's a foot race. And the Argentine player looks as if he's going to win it. Stewart, does he get there first and touch it back?
Bartolucci is the man who gets it, I believe. Is it a try? We're saying no.
No, I think the referee saying that Scott Stewart got there first. If he did, Tommy, it was very, very close.
Well, let's see for the touch. Here's the perfect angle. We got our cameras in exactly the right spot. Watch whose hand is going to get there first. Oh, that one's very close. That one's very close.
Well, the referee does not have the advantage of replay from different angles that we do, but even then, Tommy, I would still like to see it a couple more times before I made a decision.
Yeah, I think it was a home field call. Let's try it once again. Bartolucci with a nice run. Look at, he almost catches Scott Stewart, the most experienced man on the field with 30 caps. Look at this. Here's the run. He's gaining on him. He's gaining on him. Who goes down? Where did it go? He cuts inside of him. Oh, that's a very close call. The ball comes out on the side of the Argentinian, but the referee has ruled in favour of the Canadian.
Well, I think wherever the referee was, it would be very hard for him to adjudicate on that.
He wouldn't need a bicycle to catch up with that, Mike. There was no way the referee was going to be fit to run that quick.
And Bartolucci, he looks very fast. Let's see who gets their hand to it first.
There's the blue hand.
I think they both hit it together, Tommy.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll give the referee the benefit of the doubt. A good call, referee. Good call.
But Bartolucci, what pace. never decided to give up rugby, Tommy. I think he's got a future in athletics, hasn't he?
And he turned in. I mean, he was going on on his own left-hand side, and all of a sudden he has to veer back to the right-hand side, and it was the right-hand side he came in from.
So Argentina in the lead. Canada trying to get the ball back quickly, and Argentina have been penalised. Canada taking the tap penalty quickly, playing it through the forwards. That's Penney. He's stopped. Now Rob Card. Back amongst the forwards again. Wirachowski. No way forward for him. Argentina looking tired up front. And the Canadians looking to take the penalty quickly, as McCarthy is slow to his feet. Now it's been taken. Canada running the ball at every opportunity.
Oh, the crowd are trying to will them on to get another try, Mike.
So neat footwork that time, a good pick-up. It was picked up by Scott Hendry. And now Bob Ross on the run-around move. And now the intercept. Here come Argentina, just kicking it forward. Well, that's a more relieving kick than anything else, but the Argentine player was taken out of it after he kicked the ball. And Hutchinson there just trying to get him back on his feet.
Talking about adding insult to injury. Just grabbed a hold of him, dragged him up like a sack of potatoes. Let's see what happens. Bob Ross is the man who's going to give the ball away, and you can see intercepted nicely there by the Argentinian. But he's going to run out of gas here, and he says, oh, them big guys are coming after me. It's time to get rid of it. So he just kicked it ahead. And I mean, he was really nailed.
Yes, he was, and he was nailed late as well. That was the little scrum half, Barrea. And he gets some treatment, and Argentina have got a penalty well upfield because the referees had to give the penalty where the ball actually landed after he kicked it. So this is an opportunity now for Gonzalo Quesada. 4 from 7 so far. But this one's certainly within his range. And such an important one, because if he can convert this, it will increase the deficit to 8 points.
Well, he certainly, as you said, he's been kicking, not consistently, but he's catching them good at times and not catching them well at all. But this one's so important for him.
See on the scoreboard there, 21-26. This to make it 21-29. That Canada are going to have to score a converted try plus either a penalty or a drop goal, and that one is straight through. The flags are up, and Argentina now with Quesada accurate from the boot. Argentina 29, Canada 21, and the Canadians now, Tommy, it's just got that bit too far away from them, hasn't it?
Yes, it really has, and it's come against the run of play. The Canadians looked like they were in a scoring position themselves, and then, surprisingly, the ball gave away by Bob Ross. Something that we've noticed he's done 2 or 3 times, and that's really the first time that the Argentinians have capitalised on it, Mike. But you kind of felt that's what Argentina were doing. They were waiting back there, watching on a mistake, and Travellini has come on.
Yes, he scored a try against the USA. Real versatile player, Travellini. He will add some strength to the line out. Argentina again going over the ball. It's going to be a penalty for Canada.
Well, you got to feel with time becoming a factor. Will they kick for it, or are they just going to take the short one?
Well, I think Bob Ross is going to try his luck from this range.
Yeah, he's called on for the sand bucket.
Well, of course, this will reduce the deficit down to 5 points, which means a converted try.
It's a very long way out, this one, and the way he's been kicking, I mean, he has great confidence in himself. I mean, this is his responsibility. He's called for himself. Look at how far he has to kick it. I know it's fairly straight on, but 23-13. Canadians getting a lot of calls, and he's only made 4 out of 8. This is a difficult kick, Mike, for him.
Yes, and of course he did miss that last conversion as well, so as you say, this is a very important kick. Not only are Canada Trailing on the scoreboard. Of course, the time also very much against them now. We're deep into the second half. And he's got the height, he's got the distance, but the accuracy again has let him down. Well, it hasn't been Bob Ross's day. 4 from 9. And who would have believed that, Tommy, from a player who had scored 27 points coming into this game?
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't. But a lot of that pressure has been put on by the fact that Canada do need the scores. You know, it's one thing to be out there, you're kicking, you're leading, the pressure's off you. But when you kick in a pressurised situation, it's a completely different story. And I think we're seeing Bob Ross just bend a little bit to the pressure today, Mike. That was a pressurised kick there, and he couldn't come up with it.
That's Scott Stewart, the other player now from the Canadian side, who's lost his number. So they should look at finding somebody who can put numbers on that actually stay on the back of shirts. 2 of them running around now with no numbers on, as the referee has spotted an offence. This time Canada going in over the ball, so it will now be a scrum with Argentina to put in.
Well, the Canadians got to be very careful here to make sure they don't get caught on the break. This scrum has been very effective for Argentina.
And this is Camerlinckx. Big block forward.
That time they were waiting on him.
And now the chip over the top. Oh, that was magnificent. Ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw just about a yard or 2 yards at the most from the try line.
Well, you got to feel that this is really into Argentinians' favour because they have been winning the lineouts. I mean, everything from the lineouts, they're nearly 1-2-1, and this one's right on the try line.
Well, it is a Canadian put in. They go long, but they're being held up. So important they get the hill back, and the Canadians, I think, were the ones who were holding that ball in. But in fact, he's penalised Argentina. Not quite sure how he come up with that decision. Here's Bob Ross deciding to run in his own 25. That was a bad option. And now Canada. Hasan trying to burrow his way through.
Well, that's amazing how many bad decisions Bob Ross has made, Mike, because, I mean, he's been exemplary in his decision-making all along. And today, I mean, he just threw the ball away there, and that's the second time he's done it now in a very short time.
I think the Argentinians can feel very hard done by. That ball seemed to be on its way out when the referee blew up for a scrum. Didn't let play go on. But this is some nice move, and Argentina go over. And that time, Rolando Martin, a try against Uruguay. And the ball played inside, and he just walked through, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about Barrea, his clean play from the scrums all day, and this time it really works to Argentina's advantage. Just comes back out, and he's going to feed it through. Watch this. Watch how quickly it's taken. Here's the cut across, and there's Martin as he just puts his head down and walks in. Canadians are not tackling at all at this stage, Mike.
It's 21-34. Rolando Martin, who plays for the San Isidoro club, is the try scorer for Argentina.
Oh, an opportunity now to extend that lead.
Their 4th try of this game. And Gonzalo Quesada with the conversion attempt to make it out to 21-36. 6 from 8. Started poorly, but he really has been on song since.
I missed his first 2 and made the next 6, I believe. So that's, I mean, that's getting yourself righted very quickly.
And that's over. And that makes it now 7 out of 7. The last 7 anyway. He missed, as Tommy said, the first 2. It's 21-36 now for Argentina. And Argentina, the holders of this Pan Am Rugby Series, now looking to retain. And there was their last try, Tommy, and they textbook play.
Oh, yeah, they went to threaten to go outside and instead went inside, and just nobody picked them up at all. And Martin just walked his way in. Beautiful try.
Drop out now from the 25 for Canada.
Well, I'm sure Pat Referee, the coach of Canada, realises he has a bit of work to do, Mike. They've just lost a little bit of their discipline here.
It's less than 3 minutes to go, plus any time that the referee will add on for stoppages. And here come Argentina, but referee deciding there was a double knock on there. So it's going to be a put in for Canada. Rob Card, who really has worked hard around the base of that scrum, Tommy. He's got some good ball release, but really when he has got it clear, his three quarters really haven't been able to do much with it.
No, and a lot of the times it has just been a case of the wrong options being exercised. I mean, the Canadians, when it looks like they should be going wide, they have gone back across into the middle, right against the grain, and it has caused problems for them. And of course, Mr. Smith has been absent today. I mean, Courtney Smith hasn't been able to get involved at all, Mike, and that's been a key for them.
Rob Card, who is 21. And I think I can safely say, Tommy, he's most probably the most popular player in the team, because when he's not playing rugby, he's a bartender.
Yeah, well, he certainly, that suits some of these lads to know how to pull a good point after a game.
Here come Argentina, a good push. Good movement forward. They're keeping it locked in that back row. This is excellent scrummaging. Well,
Camerlinckx said, "What did I do wrong, ref?"
Well, I'm not quite sure either. I know that the scrum had screwed off the 90-degree, but Argentina seem to be controlling that. In fact, a couple of the decisions that the referee has given in this second half seem to have favoured Canada. Here again, Argentina. Well, there's a couple of Canadians there that were offside. The referee, though, has allowed play to go on. And now what's he come up with? It's going to be another scrum.
Oh, this is right. The Argentinians love this. I mean, to be controlling that scrum, Mike. They must have pushed that last scrum about 6 or 7 yards.
Well, the first scrum was way outside the 25. They're halfway between the 25 now and the goal line. Look at the power. The Canadians just buckling there.
Oh, I think that's been one of the weaknesses here in the second half for the Canadians, is that they have buckled under this extreme pressure. It's not that Argentina has played so much better rugby or anything like that, Mike. They've just taken care of their opportunities.
Well, they expected the Argentine pack to really wilt in the second half. It was their tactic to move them around. As Bob Ross, straight up in the air, not outside the 25. Now he gets a favourable bounce. Now, which way is this penalty going? It's going to Canada. Bob Card with the tap penalty. Canada trying to move it forward. Time certainly against them. Argentina have got the ball back. The referee found another penalty. It does seem that this referee uses perhaps different rules to most international referees.
Oh, the Canadians are tired at this stage. Oh, look at this for a kick on.
Nice football skills. Well, Argentina won the World Cup in soccer a couple of times, and perhaps that's why it was Bartolucci there who took it through on the foot. And that's his second try. And for, well, you can see there, the Canadian supporters know that's the end. But those Argentinian supporters are happy.
Little Maradona here on the rugby field. Look at this. He's going to get the kick onto it. He's going to kick it at least 2, maybe 3 more times. There's the second one. And he's just going to wait until it go in, and he covers it up. Nice run by Bartolucci. He's been impressive in this particular competition, Mike. Played very well in any game that he's been involved in.
Well, Gonzalo Quesada, 7 from 9 so far. And time nearly out. This one, a very difficult one, just 5 yards in from touch on that far side. And again, he's going to be kicking across the face of goal.
Well, I suppose the idea here is to get enough to lift. Maybe you'd confuse the man with the flag. Never mind anything else. You might squeeze it in over a post.
Well, he's got the height, he's got the distance.
I'm not sure.
Not the accuracy, and again, both judges looked at each other, Tommy.
They weren't sure, Mike. They weren't sure at all where that ball was.
Well, that's 7 from 10 as the final whistle goes, and Argentina have retained the Pan Am Rugby Series with a convincing victory over Canada by 21-41. Well, it was 9-18 at half-time, but those scenes say it all, Tommy. They've worked hard. They started slowly. I mean, they only just overcame the USA 29-26. Then they showed us some great flying rugby down in Uruguay, 54-20. And then today, the very best of opportunism, 41-21.
Yeah, they certainly were. It wasn't the most spectacular rugby game that Argentina's ever played, but whenever the opportunities came along, they took care of business, and they created a few good opportunities themselves. The Canadians helped them out a little bit by using the wrong options, but good performance enough by the Canadians. This was a very interesting game, Mike.
5 tries then to Canada, and just 1, or 5 tries, I should say, to Argentina, just 1 to Canada. And it is Argentina who are the champions. We'll stay with us here on ESPN. When we return, we'll have a look at the trophy presentation as we salute the champions of the 1996 Pan Am Rugby Series, Argentina winning over Canada. We'll be back after this.